Guys, we said this is back again on another video where they asking you to find the coordinate of the other endpoint when the midpoint is given to you. In this case, you're not looking for the midpoint. The midpoint is given to you. In other words, this is your ruler, right? This is one endpoint, this is another endpoint. They give you this endpoint and they give you the midpoint here. They ask you to find the other endpoint. This is one of the most difficult that students have problem with. In other words, where you have to think backward. All right. Once again, you're not looking for the midpoint. You're looking for the other endpoint. One endpoint is given to you. One midpoint, the midpoint is given to you. You looking for the other corner, the other endpoint. So remember that you have a midpoint formula. So the midpoint formula is M, capital M, and where you have to find the average of the x coordinate, which is x1 plus x2, then you divide by 2, so you're looking average. There are two x coordinate, you find the sum of the x coordinate and you divide by 2, comma, y1 plus all right. This is the midpoint. All right. This is like you have the segment that goes this way. Right? This is one endpoint. The midpoint is given to, in this case, you're looking for x2, y2. You're looking for the other end here. So you have to tweak the problem to get that. So as you know, this is your x1 and this is your y1. This is x midpoint and this is y midpoint. Right? In this case, you're looking for x2, y2. Those are question mark. So we're gonna tweak this a little bit and to find what we're looking for. In this case, we're gonna borrow x1 plus x2 over 2 is equal to x midpoint. Right? So that's what you'll have to do. That will give you the x coordinate and you'll do the same thing. y1 plus y2 over 2 is equal to y midpoint, whatever the y coordinate of the midpoint is. And you set it as a proportion. All right? We know what x1 is. So we're going to replace x1 here. This is 3. We don't know what x2 is. And we settle it over 2 is equal to x coordinate of the midpoint. This is x coordinate of the midpoint, which is 3. So you can set it as the proportion, put this over 1, and you will solve this, and that will give you the x coordinate. And you're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna find my y1. This is my y1, negative 12. We'll have negative 12 plus y2, which we don't know, over 2 is equal to y coordinate of the midpoint, and the y coordinate of the midpoint is negative 1. So I can put it over 1 and set this off. Now you have two choices. You can, the easiest one, some of you will do cross multiply. Nothing wrong with that. Then you'll be able to solve that. Or you multiply both sides by 2. So if I multiply this side by 2, I have to multiply this side by 2. This 2 will cancel with that 2. I will have 3 is equal to x2. All right, and 3 times 2 is 6. Now I have to solve for x. In order to solve for x2, then I need to get rid of that. I'm going to subtract 3 on each side. So my x2 is 6, take away 3 is 3. This is what I was looking for. This will be a 3. And it makes sense, right? This is a vertical, this is 3, this is 3, this is 3, right? So to verify that, if I take 3 plus 3, this is x1 plus x2 is 6. 6 over 2 is 3. That will work out. Then I will do the same thing here. So I can multiply both sides by 2. This 2 will cancel with that. I will have negative 12 plus y2 is equal to negative 2. Now I need to get y2 by itself. I add 12 and I add 12. So I'll have y2 is equal, I have negative 2 plus 12 is 10. So this is the point I am looking for. My x2 is 3, my y2 is 10. This is the other endpoint. Alright? And this problem is completely done. So some of you will find midpoint. If you find midpoint again, between this and this will be 1/4 of the way, not 50%. You're going to find midpoint of a midpoint. This is wrong. So let's model another problem. Then you will see that example here. And later I'm going to graph it again. So for those of you students who want to see a visual aspect of it, then you will see why it makes sense. All right. So I'm going to leave this as my formula, which I tweak, and I'm going to do the second problem. So you have many examples, so you can look at to make the grade if you are struggling. So remember, the more you practice, the better you're going to become at it. All right, now we're going to do this here. This problem. This is x1, this is y1, this is x midpoint, this is y midpoint. Now you're looking for x2 and y2. So those two are missing. So I'm going to borrow this part in the midpoint form x coordinate. In this case is x1, which is negative 5 plus x2 over 2 is equal to x coordinate of the midpoint, which is negative 8. And I can put this over 1 and do this. Solve for that. That's going to give me my x2, x coordinate of the other endpoint. I'm going to do the same model to get my y separately. So my y, so I'm going to replace it there. y1, which is 9, plus y2, I don't know, over 2 is equal to the y coordinate of the midpoint. Y coordinate of the midpoint is negative 2. And put this over 1. In this case, I can either do cross multiply or multiply both sides by 2. So to get rid of my denominator, this 2 will cancel with that. I will end up with negative 5 plus x2 is equal to negative 16. Now, in order to get x by itself, I will have to add 5 on this side. So I will have x2 is equal to negative 11. I'll do the same thing on that side, multiply by 2. This will cancel with that. I will have 9 plus y sub 2 is equal to negative 4. Then I will have to subtract 9 on this side. Then I will have y2 is equal to negative 13. So my other endpoint will be negative 2, negative 13. Alright? So if you want to verify that, to find the midpoint, if I take negative 5, right, and I add negative 11 to it, that will be negative 16. When I take negative 16 divided by 2, that will give me negative 8. So that check with my midpoint. So if I take my y1, which is 9, add this to it, that will give me negative 4. If I take negative 4, I divide by 2, that will give me negative 2. So that's how we check it. So for those of you who like to see things, so let me plot this on the coordinate grid and you will see what happened. This is now, that was my original problem. I remember the coordinate grid that was created to René Descartes, who was a French mathematician. So remember your y your y-axis is vertical. So if you have graph paper, so it will be very nice. Graph paper will make it look professional. So remember that when you don't have graph paper, you can always do it by hand and it will come out normal. So the more you practice, the better you're gonna become at it. Alright, and this is your horizontal, which is the x-axis. And remember your x-axis, those are we're telling you the line continue. Alright, and you do the same thing. This is my y-axis. And remember those where they intersect is the origin and this perpendicular right there. Alright, you have negative 5 now. I will have to go 5 units to the left. That will be, I'm using interval of 1. So that will be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. And I have to go 9 units up. So that will be 9 units up. That's still plenty of counting. So we have to count to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you go somewhere down, you plot that point. It will be negative 5, 9, and this point is called Q. Get the Q. The midpoint is negative 8, negative 2. So I have to go 3 more units to the left. That will be negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, and going down 2. So that will be negative 1, negative 2, and this point will be somewhere down here. Negative 8, negative 2. Before them, negative, that will be in that quadrant. This telling you is the midpoint. So if I connect this point here to there, from here to there, this telling me this is the midpoint. But if I continue somewhere down there, my x2, y2 should pass that. Right? So this is the reason now you should not use midpoint again. If you find midpoint again, you will see yourself in somewhere down there, which will be 25%. All right, this is 50%. All right, this is halfway. So whatever the distance from me to there is, it should be equal to the distance from me to there. All right, so those two segments will be the same. All right, some students can play with numbers and that, so you don't have to do that. If you're doing that for a test where your teacher will not challenge you to show how you get the answer, hey, go for it. So on the test, they just want you to get the answer as long as you don't show work. If there's no penalty, then you can go for that. So for a visual aspect of it, this is my midpoint. I'm looking for the other endpoint. Therefore, the other endpoint should go way down there. If I find midpoint again, I will land somewhere down there, which is 1. All right. So guys, this is Mr. This is on another geometry video where you have to find the other midpoint, the other endpoint when the midpoint is given to you. They give you one endpoint, they give you this, and they give you halfway, which is a midpoint, and they want to find the other endpoint. So that's what you will have to do. You will have to play with the midpoint formula, tweak it, and to make it work for you. So remember guys, you can always go see Mr. DC's channel and go subscribe and press the like button. See you back again for another one.